you can answer it. All right. Everybody knows what this is, right? It's trail mix. What is your favorite part of trail mix? Put it in the chat. What is your favorite part? Mine is raisins. I don't know if anybody else is weird like me, but M&Ms, yeah, okay, I knew the salt. See, there's other weird people. Cashews. See, there you go. We all probably have a favorite part of this, right? But y'all, it is not trail mix, like the whole shebang, without all of it. You have to have the whole thing. And even though you have a favorite part, when you take all of it together, it is absolutely delicious. Would y'all agree? You have to have all of it though. Otherwise, it's just raisins or just nuts. And that is how our business is also, you guys. We have a business that is made up of pillars. And when you just have the cashews, or you just have recruiting, or you just have duplication, which equals just the M&Ms, it is fun, it's cool, it works, but you do not have a full business. You do not have this thriving business that runs on its own, that is fun, that is making as much income as you could possibly have. And so I am going to talk tonight. I really wish I could move this bar, and it's driving me nuts, but we're going to talk tonight about the pillars of this business. So whether you have been here for a day or you have been here for 5 years, I hope you walk away thinking, okay, I learned something about this pillar today and I need to get better at it. So the pillars are retention, recruiting, duplication, and leadership. And the base of all of that is mindset, which you can't, I don't know if y'all can see the word, I can't, it's annoying me, but whatever. So the base of it is mindset. And I don't know if you've heard this or not, but I remember Sonia Dudley saying anytime, like in this business, you have to constantly be doing a checkup from the neck up, because so much of the things that are going to derail you are going to actually just be in your mind. They're stories you tell yourselves. I don't know. I know just in motherhood on a daily basis, I have to fight to tell myself, okay, you're doing a good job. This is a hard job. You can do this. I have to like redirect my mindset. Because y'all, hard things in your business are inevitable, just like they're inevitable in motherhood, they're inevitable in your marriage. And so, whether it is shipping issues that you're having, or maybe you had somebody, you set a goal and you missed it, or maybe someone that you have been working on for a long time to get on the products, you just knew they would be good at the business and they quit. Maybe, there's been times, y'all, we have changed over some software in our virtual office. We just had one. And maybe you're like, this is frustrating. This is new. I don't know if I can learn this. There's so many things that can attempt to steal your joy. Maybe it's a loved one or a friend who says something to you. Maybe I don't know what it is, but I can tell you I've had many times where something was trying to steal my joy in this business, steal my mindset, steal my focus. And you get to decide whether or not it is stolen. And some things for me that keep my mindset right are my vision. I remember going to convention one of my very first years and seeing the girls on stage. Hold on, show you. Can y'all see me? All I see is Marissa. So Marissa, can you see me? Okay. So I remember going and seeing these girls with their sparkly, like green, look at sparkly, their sparkly green boxes. They were walking across stage with this thing, and I was like, just really, really want the box. I just really want the sparkly box. And yet some of y'all think that's dumb. It motivated me. It got me excited. The sparkly box got me excited. My vision was always clear that I wanted to be able to retire my husband. My vision was always very, very clear that I wanted to be a diamond. Um, my vision was always very clear that I wanted to have leaders that did this with me. I wanted teammates that wanted to go on retreats together, and I never wanted to go to Hawaii by myself. I wanted to be there. And if you are not familiar, you get a free trip to Hawaii when you hit a certain level. Those were very clear for me. Those kept me very focused because those things were more important to me than Joe Schmo from high school telling me that network marketing is dumb, which we all know is not dumb, but you know what I mean? And so you get to decide what you're going to focus on, whether it's, yeah, your vision is a big one. And then what you're putting in your mind. We'll talk about this later too, but are you reading books or are you watching Netflix? Because when somebody comes to you and says, hey, network marketing sucks and you've been watching Netflix all week, you're going to be like, oh, maybe this is dumb. What am I doing? But if you've been reading 5 Levels of Leadership all week, and he talks about how leadership is admirable and it is fun and anyone can do it. And you've been listening to Bob Heilig talk about all these different strategies, and you've been watching Diamond documentaries, and they're talking about how they were just a normal person who was introverted and they did this and how they did this, and your belief and your vision, your confidence grows. And your confidence is your armor in this, and your armor is built by what you're putting in, and also who you're surrounding yourself with. I have 2 power partners that I found when I was a senior gold. They're not on this team, they're in separate teams. Y'all, we have ranked up together ever since. And it is so special to have them in my corner because they will not let me quit on myself. And they also tell me when I am being completely irrational about a problem and I'm blowing it way out of proportion. And they're like, Jordan, get your crap together. It's not that big of a deal. Go do your work. So mindset is definitely the key, the core here. So we're going to talk about the first pillar. This happens to be one of my favorite pillars. I noticed that I had favorites when I was making these slides because some of them were a lot smaller than other ones. But I really love the recruiting pillar. Who here feels like you're really good at recruiting? You're really good at bringing in level ones. You feel like you're good. And do not be modest here. I genuinely want to know who feels like they are good at this. I'm just going to take you down the funnel for a second because there's been times where I feel like I have a lot of people in my network, a lot of people that I'm talking with. I've gone to lots of birthday parties, and I'm present in church, and I've been able to take people meals, and I've had people over, and we've gone on girls' nights. Like I feel like I'm in a lot of relationships with a lot of people, and there's been times where I feel like, man, I have not been personable in like a year because I just had a baby. So the first part, the widest part is just your network. It is the people that you know, the people that you talk to, the people on your social media, the people that are liking and commenting on your stuff, following your stories. And then you have to get into, and then the next part is the convo about your plexus, about plexus. And that's when it starts. Whether that's you reaching out to somebody and saying, hey, listen, I have no idea if you need what I have, but this has been really helpful postpartum. Have you ever thought about doing my pink drink? Whatever that is. Maybe it's a business message, whatever it is. But you start it, whether they start it or you start it. And then you get into the conversation flow. And I actually put this in our Ruby's thread. Can somebody drop that graphic in the chat for me? The conversation flow so y'all can have it. But y'all, this looks like asking questions. Like, oh my, like, tell me when those symptoms that you just shared with me, tell me when they started. Tell me, how does that affect your day? And then asking more questions like, hey, can I show you the pack that I know my friend who struggles with the same thing you do? Can I show you what she takes? Can I give you a call and walk you through how to use your account and how to set it up, and I'll even show you the pricing and everything. It's just asking good questions, and there is a flow to it, but we'll put it in the chat, but there is a flow. So if you feel like you're getting stuck in the conversations, then you need to go watch more videos on conversation flow. That's a good point for you to pull out of this and go learn more about. And then maybe conversations stop, or maybe it's like 11 o'clock at night and the conversation just naturally stops because y'all fall asleep, whatever. There's the follow up to it. And I love personally following up by inviting. We have a challenge going on that you could invite to. Hey, I know last month wasn't the right time for you, but I know that based on some of your health goals, more energy, losing some baby weight, those are all things that this challenge we have coming up might help you with. And I'm really excited to do it because I honestly don't fit in my shorts because I'm 8 months postpartum and I haven't really been working out, and I'm excited to start working out. So can I show you more about the challenge we're about to start? I think it would be really good for you. That would be a good follow-up, y'all, to somebody that you talked to last month. And so following up, not just once, not just twice, but follow up often. My sponsor followed up with me for 2 years before I signed up. Do you think she's glad she didn't give up? I was her first diamond. So I think that she's probably pretty happy that she did not take no for like as the end all be all answer. So follow up. If you feel like lots of conversations are stopping, maybe you need to get better at follow up. That's a good one. There's tons of videos on our health and happiness page. And then closing. If you feel like you're getting to the end and you're saying things like, well, just let me know when you're ready. And y'all, they're never going to just let you know. They need to be asked a very specific question. Are you ready right now to get started? Like, ask them the question. It's just like with my kids. Like, if I leave wiggle room, they're going to totally take advantage of it and be like, okay, I'm just going to go outside now. I'm like, no, like, I told you to come eat. And she's like, no, you asked me if I wanted to go eat. You know what I mean? Like, they just get really specific with my words. And so you just say it, guys. Are you ready to get started? So, all right. So that is your funnel. Something else in recruiting that I have found is really helpful is personalities. If you know your color personality, will you drop it in the chat? If you don't, it's totally okay. But I know some of y'all do know. We've got our yellow personalities that if I went and reached out to Taylor Yetzi and I was like, hey, Taylor, listen, we've got this contest going on. I know you could crush it. There's $10,000 on the line. I can still totally see you on stage. What do you think? Are you ready to do this thing and go all the way to the top? She would be like, no. that does not fan her flame, y'all. But she has a yellow personality. So I have to come to her and relate to her in words that relate to her. And that might, I'm probably going to butcher this, Taylor, and you're probably going to laugh because this probably doesn't inspire you, but I'm just going to, I might go to her and be like, hey, listen, like, I know that you have hated your job. I know that is caused, issues, but with your family, I know the emotional toll that it has taken on you. And I just want you to know that we have a community here that is really fun and is really special and really supportive. And I feel like you would really thrive in being around these people and being out of that toxic environment. Have you ever thought about doing something like what I do from home? That would be more Taylor's vibe, I think. I'm waiting for her to comment in the chat and see. Okay, and then we've got our green personalities, which would be people like Brittany Duke. Y'all know Brittany. And so she needs the details. She's going to ask for things like info sheets and details on ingredients and details on the comp plan. And she's not just giving me the runaround. She actually wants to know these things. And so that's when I would get on a call with somebody like her and just be like, hey, let me show you. And I would send her the info sheets or whatever. Some of y'all are like, I don't care about the info sheets. I could go diamond without reading an info sheet, and that's cool too. But you got to know that there's other people. 75% of people are not like you, so you get to go learn about people. And this has actually helped me in my marriage. I have learned more about other people, the way they tick, and I use this in my own marriage. My husband is a yellow personality. I am a red personality, and we have figured out a way to it's like love languages, right? But it's like the love languages of your business. And then you got your blues, and they are all about fun. And so when you are going on trips, this is another reason going to convention is so important. You are going to cast vision for your blue personality friends who love fun, who love girls trips, who love the sparkly boxes. You're going to cast vision for them. So for you being there, taking lots of pictures, sharing about it, you are going to build your business more. You are going to attract more people who want that type of thing. And then you've got your red personalities, and they are typically pretty just like balls to the walls. They are, they're just like, okay, I'm ready. Tell me how to make money, that kind of thing. And they don't like a lot of fluff. You just tell them like it is. And so when they ask questions like, hey, well, tell me how much it is, you just say, hey, it's $115 to get started, plus some shipping and tax. I can get you started really fast on the phone. It won't take a lot of your time. But I know that, you're going to be really good at this business. You're going to have a lot of fun. And so you just have to be really like to the point with them. Okay. So anyway, I just share that. I could do a whole training on this, but I share that just so 75% of people are not like you. And so you get to go learn other people's personalities. And so maybe you have a girl in mind and you know what personality they are. Share that detail in our Rockstar thread and be like, hey, I've got this girl. She's a yellow personality. Here's her last message. How would y'all respond? So ask us for help. Okay. These are just some of my notes. I'm not going to go through all these just for time's sake, but send, share, invite. That's a system that we love to use. Go search that in Health, Happiness, Financial Freedom. Go search that right there. And there's videos, there's information, there's steps. Okay. Go be a CEO of your own business and go learn some of these things. Learn the conversation flow. Get really good at it so that you can teach it to other people. If you find yourself talking a lot in your messages, talk less. Ask questions, let them talk. And remember to just be a human. Posting consistently is part of recruiting. If you feel like not a lot of people are coming to you, then I would encourage you to post more. Post more like you, because that is literally the open sign for your business. Getting on the phone is a huge, I'm all about it. That's when you can cast vision, ask questions. Um, and then leading with confidence in your messages instead of being really timid. That comes with practice also. And then don't be the expert. There's a really good podcast. If somebody has it and you can drop it in the chat, that would be awesome. But if not, I'll find it later. But y'all don't be the expert. Like, people are literally watching everything you say to them, thinking, okay, I could do that. Or, wow, she's really knowledgeable about all this stuff. I could never do what she does. But if you're sending graphics and you're sending videos, like, that is so duplicatable. Somebody's sitting there thinking, I could totally do that too. Right? So they're sizing you up from the very beginning. Okay, that was pillar one. Does anybody have any questions about recruiting before we move on? I love questions. There's no dumb questions. So if you actually do have one, I would love them. So anybody have questions about that?
I have a really quick question.
Yeah.
We were talking about like messaging people and all that good stuff. So
Yeah.
I have like a large amount of people that I would say like I message and just don't even get a response, period. Like, do you follow up on that? Like when they literally don't even acknowledge it?
Yeah. It happens all the time, and it doesn't just happen to you. It happens to me. It happens to everybody. So I hope you know that you're in really good. You're normal. I will follow up with them. Something like, hey, I know life gets really crazy. Sometimes my kid drops a toy in the toilet, and then I have to drop my phone and go take care of it, and then I don't remember where I was. So I sometimes I'll like say something like that, pop the message back up. But if they're still not responding, then I just go talk to them. Like I go interact with their stories. I go tell them happy birthday. I go ask them how their kids are feeling, how first day of school was. Like, I just genuinely am go be their friend for a hot minute, and then I'll bring it back up later.
Okay.
Yeah. Good question. Great question. Anybody else before we go into retention?
I
Okay.
have a question for you.
Oh,
It's not
yeah.
necessarily for me, but I feel like this is something that I hear a lot is like when you're recruiting, okay, and you're sending messages and you're doing your IPA, like what amount, I guess, would be like a typical like amount of people to be reaching out to per day or per week, or do you know what I mean? Like, so people
Yeah.
kind of understand like what to expect.
It-
That's something that I hear a lot.
Yeah, it
And
depends on your goals. If you are here and you're just like, I would really love to get my products paid for, I'm really like 500 a month is like end all be all, then you don't have to do as many messages. But I really wanted to be diamond. I wanted to have, my goal is still 10 level one jewels. Like, I want to help 10. That's a big impact on families. And so I'm going to do more messages, and I love that Katie, is it Alger? How do you say your last name? Are you on here? Katie A. We'll call her Katie A. She talked about how she did a 100-person reach out in January, and she just went senior gold. Y'all, if you want to go fast start senior gold, I would suggest reaching out to 100 people in 2 to 3 months, right? So it really just depends on what your goals are. But when I tend to do like 3 to 5 messages a day, on like a normal day, right? Okay, oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go.
What's your like business to just product reach outs? Like, you know what I'm asking? What does that
Yes.
look like?
Yeah. Shelby, do you want more product takers or people that want and need the business?
Business.
Okay, well then I would do more business reach outs.
Okay.
And I personally do more business reach outs because I feel like they are less awkward. Like, I would much rather go to you and be like, hey, I don't know if you need something like what I do from home, but I love it. I love not having to wear a bra. I love that I get to go on vacation whenever I want. I love that I get to make my own schedule. Is that something that you guys need? Because if not, totally fine. But if it is, I'd love to share this with you. Like, that is way less awkward than me being like, hey, are you pooping? Can I help you? And so, yeah, I send much more business reach outs than I do product reach outs. Okay, let's talk about retention. This was the section that was a lot shorter than all the other sections. Because I personally, if you love retention, like doing customer care, I love that you love that. And I love that as a gift of yours. It is not mine. And so retention, y'all, I remember Tamara Holloway. If you don't watch her videos on YouTube, I highly suggest it. Happy customers make the best ambassadors. When she told me this, I was like, okay, cool. So I am going to make really happy customers because I know that if I can get them loving their products, they are much more likely to share. So that is what motivated me to do it. Don't get me wrong, I love the product testimonies. They are very important to me. That does not mean that. But I just don't enjoy the nitty-gritty of customer care. I do it, but it's not my favorite. But this motivated me. So I just need you to know that if you are signing tons of people, but you're not taking care of them, know that when somebody comes to you and signs up, that's step one. Taking care of them is when the actual work starts. That is when you get in there with them. You are checking in on them. I use these customer care sheets. I can drop them in our chat after. There's just something simple to just keep up with my check-ins. When I didn't have hundreds of level ones, I actually had note cards and I'd have their name and phone number and I would keep them with me on like a little 3-ring, like, old school college days. And I would have all their stuff and their check-ins and their health goals and what pack they got. And that worked for me for a long time. And then I switched to a binder, and I know some of y'all do it with Project Broadcast or digitally now. So you find your own routine. Whatever you need to do, check in with your customers. And then learning your products and learning how to troubleshoot. I feel like the confidence and troubleshooting and learning your products is something that made me just so much more confident talking about the products too. I watched info sheets. I would search on our team. You also go search on our team page, whatever product it is you want to go learn about, and go watch every video that comes up. I have several that I can share on customer care, but honestly, you need to go get really confident about your products. You need to love your products and know them, and you'll do that through the years. But I just feel like it makes it way more fun. So knowing your products, take and do your check-ins. And then I stole these from Lauren Cook, actually. This was a Zoom that she did a while back, and I have the link. I will send it to y'all. But these are some really great questions. Notice nowhere on here does it say, what results are you seeing? That's not a good question to ask week 1. We're not looking for results week 1, even 2, and not even month 2 sometimes. So I really like these, and there's more questions you can ask. There's way more resources you can go watch to get really good at customer care, but just know you got to do it. I love using Perks as a tool. That is in your virtual office. I believe it's the My Business tab under Perks. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. But I have my assistant check that every 2 days now, but before I had an assistant, I checked that. Asking really good questions to your customers so that when they're coming to you and they're just like, hey, I'm not loving it. Don't just be like, okay, well, thanks for trying it. No, like ask some questions here, dig a little bit. Don't be afraid. And then setting expectations. I am really big about not starting people unless they want to commit to 90 days. If somebody is on the fence, I'm like, okay, cool. Like you can sign up, you can get your 1 month, but I'm telling you, you're not going to see the changes you want to see. I'm just telling you up front. Do not be afraid to set expectations. And then using third-party tools. Again, you guys, they are watching to see how easy it was to get them, for them to sign up, for them to see success. And if it's easy for them, then they're going to assume that if they shared, it would be easy too. So keep it simple. Do not overcomplicate this. Okay, any questions about retention that Brittany Duke or Chandler or somebody else can answer? No. Okay. There's also some videos, if you do not have a system yet that you love, there's videos that are pinned on gut health and happiness. There's 10 of them. No, there's 9 of them, and they are designed to be sent to your people every 10 days and to walk them through the process. So those are a really good resource too. If you just really want to plug and play, like, hey, let's just send them some videos. They're less than 2 minutes long. It's a really good, they're working really well for me. All right, duplication. Who here would like to get better at duplication? You would like to see your team grow, see them doing, hello, Marissa. you want to see your team duplicating as far as people, and you also want to see culture duplicating down. You want to see excited people duplicating down. Like duplication is more than just creating silvers here. So when I found out that duplication was necessary, I dove into it hard because I wasn't necessarily doing it at the beginning, you guys. I was signing a lot of people. Most of us, we started by just signing some people by posting and signing them up, right? But y'all, there is a pillar that you are missing. And I'm telling you, once you get this pillar, you are going to have way more fun, joy, and freedom in your business. And I know you want all three of those things. And duplication is fun. There's a system, and it does take time, but it is worth it. If it took you a couple of hours every week to spend with a new person to get them silver, senior silver, and gold, and your points grow by 100 and they become a leader and grow their own team and they don't even need you anymore, is your time worth that 2, 4, 6 hours that you spent with them? Absolutely. And so you want to go wide and deep. Our comp plan, you guys, is amazing. When I tell you it is, oh, go back. When I tell you it's one of the best in our entire industry, I'm not just like blowing smoke here. It is actually, it is the best one I have seen. It is the structure of it. You can go as deep as you want. Did y'all know you can get paid 7 levels deep? Like 7 levels down, you get paid. You get paid on 6 points for your level 1 orders and 5 on your level 2s, 3s, and 4s, or 2s and 3s. Y'all, this is an incredible comp plan that will allow you to make as much money as you decide you want to make. I'm in a book study right now with girls that are literally making like hundreds of $1,000s a month, and I'm like sitting there fangirling a little bit. 1, but 2, I'm like, if they can do it, why can't I? And if I can do it, why can't you? So anyway, I just want y'all to know the average diamond has between 30 and 50 active level 1s. I'm still adding level 1s every month because we know people quit, and that's okay. But you've got to duplicate. So if they have on average, 200 to 250 points on their own, the rest of those for 4,500 points, y'all, comes from duplication, levels 2 through 7. You got to get this. You will get it. You've got to get it. So more is caught than taught. What you do and what you don't do, your team will duplicate. I remember Tamara actually telling me this, and I didn't quite know what it meant way back when. But y'all, there were things that she did that I was like, I really want to be that for my team. And one, she had been doing this for a long time and she was still showing up to events. So I showed up for events. She was still hosting book studies for her team. And if she was hosting book studies, then I was going to go host book studies. She was writing content on her team page. Okay, well, if that's what she's doing, I'm going to do that. I saw her still adding, you know what I mean? I was like, okay, well, leaders are still adding level 1s, so I saw her doing these things, hosting retreats, whatever. And I wanted to duplicate that down. And she really was like, so much of our culture stems from Tamara Holloway. If y'all do not know her, she is an incredible woman. If you spend time with her, I remember sitting in a car with her one time, and she just had the most in-depth conversation with me, and she didn't have to do this, and it was asking me questions, and it was like crying in front of this woman that I didn't know that well. And I just felt so special and heard. And I was like, I want to be that leader. I want to make people feel special and heard. And so anyway, you get to decide what is duplicated down into your team. I asked a few girls on our team, what was something that you do because it was duplicated down for you? And these were some of their answers: being present on social media, setting monthly goals, going ALA, which is adding 3 a month, no matter what rank, sending rank up gifts, providing resources and letting them find the answers. That's a big one. I remember asking Jessica Heffley, who is our double diamond senior Ruby upline. And I remember asking for 30 minutes of her time. And she told me that she wouldn't give me her time until I read a book, this one book. And I remember her doing that thinking, wow, that's really mean. Like, why? But now I know, like, she had to know that I had skin in the game in order for her to spend that time with me. And so I have taken that and put my own spin on it in some ways. And so anyway, y'all, you can learn from anyone in this industry, but definitely spend time learning from the women that have done the thing that you want to do, and take what they do and duplicate it down in your own businesses. Okay, so duplicating silvers, it starts with talking about the business openly, boldly, often, in person, and on social media. So those of you that are like, I haven't duplicated yet, haven't found my people, are you talking about the business boldly, openly, and confidently, often on your reels, on your social media, and in person? We host op calls, and are you inviting to them? Like getting really bold about talking about this business and sharing it with other people. And so you're exposing people to the business. And then actually Rebecca in our gold thread earlier was like, hey, what's the next step? And I was like, I always get on the phone after they've told me that they're interested. I'm like, hey, I'm going to call you. Y'all, I didn't know Jordan Gibson I didn't know her at all. And I don't even think we messaged. I need to go back, but I don't think we messaged that much. She was just like, hey, your mom told me that you do this thing and I think I'm interested. And it's like, okay, cool. Like I'll call you at lunchtime. And that was it, right? We just got on the phone and I just asked her some questions like, tell me what makes you interested about it. What income mark would allow you to be able to do those things? Tell me what you're nervous about. What are you excited about? Can I show you what your first 90 days might look like and what your paychecks might look like and some of the things I would have you do. And anyway, I get on the phone and then I help them post and send messages. Y'all know this. Post and send messages. And then we are doing three-way messages. If your person, or maybe this was you, maybe you resisted three-way messages. Y'all do not duplicate that down to your team. Your team will do what you did. And so help them do these three-way messages. It is so important. I love welcoming in the threads is awesome, but those can get lost so fast. And so I really love doing welcome posts on health and happiness. And then I don't know what that getting started video on health and happiness, but I tag them in this video. It's pinned on our team page and help them make their list, plan their first event, and then plug them into our calls. Y'all, if you can do that in baby steps, and don't do it all in once. If you send them the checklist, I'll actually kick you in your ovaries. But you do this in baby steps. Keep this simple for them. And this is what I've done for years. There's nuances to it. You're casting vision for them in the process. You're helping keep their mindset right, which we talked about already. You're boosting their confidence, but this is the system. Does anybody have questions about this? And some of y'all teams may do this a little different, and that's okay too.
Jordan, I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
On the when you do your one-on-one work sesh with like a newbie,
Yeah.
what are like your top things that you're like, I'm gonna show look at this and how to do this?
Yeah, so I'm assuming you're talking about like when they've already signed up, they're ready to do the business, and we get on like a 15, 30 minute like actual let's go do work together.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I always help them post, and I love to do that I'll ask them like, hey, what are you loving about your products? Or, what have you found about the community or the business or whatever that you weren't expecting? And I'm actually taking notes in my notepad and I will send those to them so that they can use those as post ideas. Because some people don't know how to take like, hey, like that thought that I had is actually a good post. They don't think it's good enough, but when I write it out for them, they're like, wow, that was good. So I usually like to help them post. And then I like to ask them questions like, well, who comes to mind whenever you think about somebody that needs more energy, or who are your mom friends that you really want to do this business with you? And I help them develop a list, and then we message those people. I help them do it while we're on the phone, and then we will either do usually we do three-way messages as people are responding, and that's it. So I just help them post and message. And there's sometimes I'll start the call off with like a diamond documentary or like a little short video just to like get their mind right, because I know that helps me. But yeah, I keep it really simple. Great question, Lindsay. Anybody else have questions about this? Do you feel like you can go help 80,000 people go silver now? I hope. Okay, I'm going to blow through this leadership part because I really did not want this to be a super long call, but this is very important. So don't leave. Because leadership, you guys, you are the leader of your own team. I don't care how strong your upline is. I really don't. It is great to be on a great team with great systems, great team calls that you can plug into, but you are the CEO of your own business. You take ownership of your own business, of your own team. You get to decide, hey, you can go create your own power hours. You can go create your own team calls, your own team challenges. You get to decide. You are the boss of your own team. Okay. And so leadership is not about titles, positions, or flowcharts. It's about one life influencing another. And I love this because when I started, I was a terrible leader. I will admit that. I was awful. And not because I was like selfish. I just genuinely did not know what I was doing. I assumed that everybody was motivated like me. So I was like, come on, Marissa, like, here's a add 3 incentive. Let's go. And she was like, I don't care about add 3 incentives. I want to change lives. And I'm like, well, then I should have done another incentive. Like, I didn't know my people. I didn't know how to lead. I just assumed everybody was driven like I was. And I assumed everybody had the same goals as I did. And that wasn't the case either. Some people really genuinely did not have diamond on the horizon. That's not something that they wanted. They just wanted to be here and not part of the community and love making some extra money. And so I was a bad leader when I started. I was an inexperienced leader, and I have gotten better by asking questions, y'all. And so you just know your rank does not make you a leader. There are diamonds that I genuinely don't respect as a leader. I would not go to them for advice. But there are rubies and senior rubies that I'm like, dude, I trust you with my life. If I died tomorrow, I know you would take this ship and drive it home, right? And so your rank does not make you a leader. You can be a bomb leader at gold. And so your rank doesn't define you. You cannot become what you need by remaining what we are. I love this because I remember Lauren Cook saying, I'm not reading a book. Don't you dare ask me to be in a book study. Somebody else told me that recently. If she's on this call, I'm not going to call her out because I don't want to embarrass her. But maybe she'll call herself out in the chat. But y'all, I was not a reader either. You should see my library now. Like 5 levels of, I would love for y'all to unmute. And if you have read a personal development book within Plexus, what was it? What were some of your favorite books you've read that have helped you in this business? And y'all just start making a list. I want y'all to write these down so that you have them. And I can't see the chat, so you're going to have to unmute and say it. One of mine is 5 Levels of Leadership. I suggest anyone that is gold or above read this. What about y'all?
Get Over Your Damn Self was really good as like a newbie.
Yes. If you have not read that book, you need to go read it. It was the first personal development book I ever read within Plexus.
Power of 5.
Yes. If you are new, that is a book for you. If you've never read it, you need to read it too, but especially if you're newer.
Self-aware leader.
Favorites.
Oh,
Sorry,
Sorry.
Self-aware leader. I heard that. Was that you, Kate?
I said The Slight Edge.
Slight Edge. Yes. So good. That's a really good one if you are gold or above.
I was gonna say 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. John Maxwell.
Yeah. I agree. No, that one's great. That was excellent. I love that one too.
I read this on our trip, but exactly what to say. I feel like that helped me
Yes.
a lot with my messages.
Oh my gosh, I haven't read it, but I speak the guy. I've listened to his stuff, and I've heard it's really good.
And it's so short. Like I read it on that trip. That was
Yeah.
like what, 3 days?
I'm here for short books. What else? The Gap and the Gain is one that your rubies and above are reading right now, and that's a great mindset one. Like excellent, actually, one of the best I've ever read. If you have any more, drop them. Oh, go ahead.
Everybody go read that book.
It is so good.
I'm literally obsessed with it. It's so good.
Yeah. If you have more, drop them in the chat. But I just want y'all to know that you cannot get where you want to go by just doing what you've always done. You cannot become what we need by remaining what we are. I cannot become a diamond or double diamond, triple diamond with the amount of intelligence, systems, and everything that we currently have. You have to continue growing. And that, y'all, it's necessary. That's where growth is fun. That is where the magic happens. That's where you increase income. That's where people start respecting you more influence. You get to do the things you love more. You want to grow. I promise you want to grow. Life is 10% of what happens to me and 90% of what how I react to it. So these are just a few quotes that I was like, man, I know leaders do these things. I know that they are doing personal growth, and I know that they are optimists. I know that they are taking what happens to me and saying, this is hard, but this is not me and I'm a bad person, or this is not me and I suck. When somebody comes to Kate and they say, hey, I'm sorry, like, I know I have 8,000 points, but I quit. Kate could choose to be like, wow, I'm done. That was hard. I'm done. But because Kate is a leader, she's not going to react that way. And so you can spot a leader by the way that they act and react to certain things. And that doesn't mean we're perfect. We all need grace. But there is a level of optimism, a level of like, I'm going to figure this out. I really believe that leaders are problem solvers. And so check yourself. Am I a problem solver? And if not, go be a problem solver. It is literally a muscle that you can go flex at any time. And the last thing I know, sorry, this is long. I'm actually not sorry because this is an important call. This is important. This is important stuff for y'all. And me too. Culture eat strategy for lunch. What do you want the culture of your team to be? I knew going into Plexus that I wanted the culture of women doing really scary things together. Because I, for years, saw women, especially moms, playing small because they forgot how to do scary things. They kind of forgot how to do big things or to have goals, or, they just kind of forgot. And I heard somebody say one time, they were like, hey, like if you were God's daughter, so what if your daughter was sitting there using half their gifts, doing half of what they're capable of, and they just felt miserable? Like, what if your daughter was doing that? And how do you think God feels about you doing that? And it just kind of hit me like, okay, well, I have got to go live in my gifts. I've got to go do all the things that I know I can do because that's what he's given me. And I need to go live into that. And so that was part of my cult. Like that, when I started, like that was the culture I wanted to create, was women doing scary things, living into their gifts, using their strengths. And I'm a big teamwork girl. And so I've always been on a team. So working as a team together, and working hard and playing hard. Like those are some of the things that I hoped y'all date your husbands more. Like those are all things I wanted to drip down into our culture. And so what do you want your culture to be? Maybe it's a culture of like, we show up to retreats. We host quarterly retreats and we go, maybe it's a culture of adding 3 every month. Like that was something that was dripped down to me. Maybe it's a culture of doing lots of personal growth. I could see that being on Lauren Cook's. We do lots of book studies together and we grow together. I know Taylor has talked many times about a culture of doing Bible studies together. So like, what do you want your culture to be? You get to decide because you're the CEO of your own business and you get to take pieces of what I do or your Jewel upline or our Jewel uplines and you get to create what you want. And it is so fun and so special. But like the trail mix, it takes all of it, you guys. And this is not something you're going to learn in a night. It's something you're going to fail at and you're going to fall flat on your face and figure it out. But that's where the fun starts. And that's when you start making an incredible income. And that's when you start having leaders doing this with you that you get to work with, go on trips with. And it really is way more fun to live into all of these instead of just living in one piece. I promise. All right. Any questions? That was a lot, I think.